Hello, boys and girls. It's Mr. Giamini. For my third and fourth period students, you're taking the Chapter 7 post test today. Just a couple of reminders. Since I anticipate great success on this assessment, I did want to kind of go over a couple things that might, if you forget to do these things, might cost you a couple of points here and there, and I did see that happen. So take a look here. I have this plane, has several points on it, has made several lines, rays, line segments. We can find supplementary angles on here, corresponding angles. We cannot find complementary angles because there's no perpendicular transversal. But let's take a look first at lines. Remember to identify a line. If I could use geometric notation, I would make my little arrow, another arrow, and just find any 2 points I want. So I could use BE. All I'm stating is that there's a line that runs through point B and through point E. They're connected, and the line goes on forever in both directions. Another line could possibly be, look down here, line IG. There's another line, line IG. Again, make sure that you're using the correct notation when identifying a line. Now, there are many more lines on this. Now, if I were to go to rays, remember a ray starts at one point and goes on forever in another direction. Now, a ray is made up of 2 points. So I could go ray BD, starts at point B, goes on through point D in that direction forever. Another way, and again, I might always start with a notation first so I don't forget it. I might go I'm going to find a point. Let's go point F, and I'm going to travel through point H in that direction. Now remember, a line segment has a definite beginning and ending point. Looks something like this, the notation for it. I could go line segment EF. I could also do line segment, and again, I'll make the notation first so I don't forget it, so I don't lose those silly points. Line segment CB. Now, if I talk about supplementary angles, I think about supplement, I think of supersize. Those things they do to us at McDonald's to make us buy more when we don't need it. And those always go 180 degrees. Now I'm going to find two angles that together give me 180 degrees. Whenever I'm doing this, I think of a half circle or a half an arc, something like an arc like this. And I look, here's all the points, and there's two angles inside of that arc. Well, I see one of those angles would be right here. Angle CBA. So angle CBA. Now the vertex is B. So when I'm making a supplement, I also have to use B as the vertex. And let's see, I already covered this portion of the arc. I need to cover the rest of it. So now I'm going to go CB, not back to A, CBD. So if I were to take a look, angle CBA's supplement is angle CBD. They share the same vertex, and notice they will also share same side CB. Okay, and now corresponding angles. Remember, corresponding angles are angles that are congruent, and they are going to be on the same side of the transversal. So if I were to look at my illustration here, and I'll highlight the transversal, here's my transversal right there. So I'm trying to find angles either on the right side of the transversal or the left side. And I like to think of corresponding angles. If I look here, here's a parallel, there's my two parallel lines. Line AD is parallel to IG. So if I'm looking below AD, I'm going to look below IG, for my corresponding angles. So let me try to erase some of my highlighting here without erasing any of my points. So if I were to look for corresponding angles here. Now again, these are not complementary. They're not going to equal 100. They're not going to equal 90 degrees together. These angles would be congruent. Looking at this now, I could say, let's go with ABE. Okay, I look, ABE, angle ABE is right here. So, and I can tell it's a obtuse angle. So ABE. Now I notice that angle is below the one line, below line AD. Now, line AD is parallel to IG, so I'm going to look for its corresponding angle below IG, so it would be IF. If I go up, I'm not going to be below IFH. That is the corresponding angle, IFH. Notice they don't share any vertex in common, nor do they share a common point. And one last thing before we begin the assessment. Remember, triangle sum theorem states A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees. Well, I have a triangle here. I could call this angle A. I could call this angle B if I'd like. I can call this angle C. I'm going to substitute those values into my algorithm there. We don't know B, so I'll put it there. We know when I add all this up together, it should equal 180 degrees. Going back to a couple weeks ago, we were doing combining like terms. Well, I have two whole numbers. I will add those. I believe that 17 plus 29 gives me 46 plus B equals 180. Remember, I would then isolate this B. I want to get rid of the 46 to isolate the B. If I take a look, that means B is equal to, that gives me 4, that would give me 3, 134 degree angle. Make sure you put that little degree mark there. Okay, hope this helps you out. Good luck with the assessment. I know you're going to do great. Bye.